Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm sitting out here in the sunshine, enjoying it on my back here, sitting on our front porch, and I still have a little bit of a little blanket. It is chilly. It's in the upper 50s. We used to having those 77-degree temperatures that we had at the beginning of the week, and we knew that it was going to cool back off, but the sun will fool you thinking, oh, it's so warm outside, but it's a little bit chilly, and plus we're damp. We got those storms that blew through yesterday, and all night last night it rained. It actually poured rain. I haven't heard the actual report yet of how many inches of rain that we got, but the creek ran over its banks, and the ponds are full. And it is a soupy mess out here. There won't be any getting in the gardens. We were going to go to the gardens tomorrow and work and get things cleaned up, getting ready for planting season. And we just won't be able to get out there tomorrow. We'll have to give it a few days to dry. But we're definitely not going to complain about the rain, because we know that we are still in recovery mode from the drought conditions that we had last year. And so we are thankful to have every little bit of rain that we are getting. I know some others in some of the other counties here in Oklahoma, south of us and a little bit north of us, both got, they are still under flash flood watches and warnings now, just simply because of the runoff, the amount of rain that we got. It has to go somewhere, and so the grounds are saturated, and so people are worried. If you hear a banging, little Howie is at the window or at the front door that's just right here, and he's banging. He can't see me because the sun's shining in his eyes, but he hears me talking. So yesterday we thought that we were going to lose Foxy. When he was a puppy, he got ran over by a car, and it messed his hip and his leg up, and thought that we were going to lose him then, but he pulled through and survived. And he'll be 6 years old in February. The last of this month in March or the 1st of April, he'll be about 6 years old, or he will be 6 years old. And I've noticed that this winter, he's really suffered a little bit more, a little bit slower, getting around, favoring his hip a little bit more. Now, I'll tell you, when it comes to running cows, the dog is fast. He gets after the cows. He loves to chase the cows. But as soon as he's done, he's just like the football players and other athletes that get in those ice baths. He finds water, and he has a little pool that we keep with water, and he gets in it and turns around, like a dog does, in a circle, and finds him a comfort spot, and he gets down in the water and enjoys it. And I think it's just therapeutic for his hip. But anyway, yesterday I was busy doing some spring cleaning, the things that we're doing here on the homestead, and Shine had to go outside, and Foxy and Sadie had gotten out of the backyard. I have no idea. They are escape artists, and I have no idea how she finds a spot and Foxy follows her out. And so Cheyenne noticed that they were out, and she hollered at Foxy. He was laying down, totally laid down, head and all. And she hollered at him, and he didn't move. And she was pretty sure, she was afraid that he wasn't breathing. And she called his name, no response, didn't lift his head, didn't prick his ears that he heard her. I've had him do that when he was laying in the sunshine sometimes, like, I'm really enjoying myself. I'm going to prick my ears to see if you really, really need me, and then I'll get up. He didn't do that or anything. And so she come back in and put her shoes on, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said, I think there's something wrong with Foxy. And so he was Howie's dog. I'm not ready to lose him anytime soon. I came out concerned, and I even went all the way up to him, talking to him and touching him, and just, he didn't move, didn't do any of those things, didn't lift his head, didn't open his eyes, didn't do anything. And his breathing was kind of labored, and I thought, well, he's either been hit by a car again, or he's gotten a hold of poison somehow. That happens out here in the country sometimes. People will poison a dog, or I just didn't really know what, but I thought that I was going to lose him. And Cheyenne, she tried to check him over, and Sadie was concerned about him, our other dog, and he was kind of growly, and I was afraid that he would bite out of pain. So I didn't want Cheyenne to get bit. And so she called Blade, and he was on his way home from work, and so he and a friend, he brought his friend with him, and I really think it's because Blade was afraid that we were going to have to put him down, and wasn't sure that he would be able to do what needed to be done, and so he brought his friend with him. But they examined him, and Blade actually got him to stand up on his feet, and we could tell that it didn't appear that he had been hit by a car, that he was just stoved up from that hip. And with that storm front moving through yesterday, he just didn't feel good. And so we were able to get him some medication. The vet, he takes 2 different pills. One he takes half in the morning and half in the evening, and then the other pill he takes it just all at one time. And this morning when I got up and made coffee and was up for a little bit, for quite a little while, I looked out and he was standing up and he was stretching his back leg, actually the leg that was injured. So he was feeling better this morning. So I think that it was just a matter of, you know how you'll hear people say, boy, we must be getting a cold front moving through, or the weather's about to change, because they can feel it in their bones. I guess Foxy feels it in his bones, and so we do have medication to give him for the inflammation. But it was a scary thing. I thought that we were going to have to make a decision, and we stood out there, Cheyenne and I, and the boys, and we prayed for Foxy, for his healing, and that if he wasn't going to be healed, that he would not suffer. And so, but thankfully this morning we have a whole new dog, so to speak. So I've been telling you guys that we're spring cleaning everything from bedrooms to bathrooms to closets to under beds, and all kinds of things inside the house and things outside the house needs to be cleaned. And that also includes pantry. This is the time of year to make sure that you're cleaning your pantries, cleaning your freezers. Your freezers, you can clean those out, can and dehydrate, or if you have a freeze dryer, put those things up so that you make room in your freezers to prepare for new items that need to go in there. Cycle through the stuff that needs to be taken out and either put up, or it's time to do something else with it. But it's an excellent time as well to go through that pantry and look for your items that have been expired. It's time to look for items that the seal didn't hold. Now the reason that the rings are still on these jars are because these are dry goods, and I do seal my jars, and then I leave the bands on them, because if they should come loose and it's dry, I just like the idea better of having the ring on, so that this is a cereal product, and it's not being spilled all over the place. And so it's time to look through your food stores, whether it's in your short-term pantry, your long-term pantry, and see if you have any problems. And we had a few things that did have some issues. Now this jar, we used our food saver attachment for canning jars. We have the largemouth and the smallmouth attachments, and so that's the way this one was sealed, and this one was still sealed. I just got it out to explain why. These are the only types of things that I leave the rings on, are my dry storage. I don't know, I just like it better keeping the lids on these. Now my jars, if this was a quart jar or a pint jar and it had tomatoes or jelly or something in it, I would have it stored and not have the ring on it. That way, if this seal does fail, it'll be able to be seen, because this lid is going to pop off here. This ring, well, if you've got this on there and you have it screwed down tightly, that could create a false seal, and you're going to think that the food product in here has been sealed properly all this time, and that may not be the case. You don't want to run into any foodborne illnesses because you had improper sealed items. Now this jar is a commercial jar that actually had pasta sauce in it at one time, and I use these jars. I have canisters from the Food Saver that I put down, these jars down inside of, and use my Food Saver attachment to seal the jars inside the canister. But I also have another item that makes a hole in the top of these, and it has a little piece of tape over the top, or a product on the top, and it forms a vacuum pump on it. And I will show that to you one day if you're interested in seeing the different ways that you can seal your jars. Just let me know down in the comment section. I've done those before, but I don't have a problem at all showing you the item that I use again. And this one this is clear gel that I use in like fillings, pie fillings and gravies and stuff like that. I really like this product. That you can use this. Old canning recipes sometimes will tell you to use flour or cornstarch, and those aren't safe to use for canning. But clear gel is, and so I keep this in my supplies. And there's other names for it, ThermFlow. This I used my Food Saver attachment, put the jar in the canister, sealed it. But you can tell, going back over it in my spring cleaning of my pantry, this is not sealed. So what I will do is use the other sealer that I have, and it, like I said, it makes a hole, and you put a little bit of this product on here, and you pump this thing, and it makes a vacuum seal. And so I will be doing that. So when I seal these up, I will show you that. I'll get that vacuum pump out, and I will show you resealing these jars. So now is the perfect time to go through all of your supplies and make sure during your spring cleaning of your house and your shops and barns and whatever else that you have to spring clean, now is the perfect time to also go through all of your food stores and your medical supplies, your toilet papers and your toiletries and all of those things that you use. Make sure that all of those items don't have any problems with their storage. You don't want your paper to be getting wet or have any kind of rodent issues with them, or any kind of issues with that at all. It's a perfect time to make sure that those things are okay. It's also, making sure that your water purification systems. Make sure that you have that your filters are good, and make sure that you have extra filters. Make sure that your grinder, maybe you need to order extra burrs. And I'll tell you something that I discovered that I need to do is order some more rings for the inside of my canning lid, that silicone or rubber, whatever that product is made from. Inside I have a Presto canner, and I need to get a backup seal for the inside of my canning lid. Mine is in good shape. I check it, make sure when I'm canning, pressure canning, I make sure that is okay. The gauge that I have on top, the little jiggler, I have the weights. I know where those are at all times. It's always placed back in the same place every single time, but it makes you think about having backups to those. And so there are things in my spring cleaning that I need to write down on my list and get more of those items. Make sure that I'm throwing out the old, refreshing things, checking all of our supplies, and making sure that we have just what we need. Now is also the perfect time to go through your storage, and you'll be able to see, you and your family, if you kept your list. I have a list of items that I like to keep on hand, things that I like to keep in storage. But down through the years, I have discovered some of the things that I thought that I really wanted to have in storage. Those things my family just didn't really use. And so it isn't important for me to have those things anymore. Other items are things like, for instance, that my Howie loved: mushrooms and olives, green olives and black olives. And so I always kept those items in store because he liked those in different, his spaghetti sauce, the mushrooms, and on his pizza. And he liked to snack on olives. But Blade and I and Cheyenne, none of us like olives or mushrooms, either one. And so there's no reason for me to keep those things stored. And so this is the perfect time for you to go through all of those things. And don't forget to look through all of the things that you need for your homestead as well, as far as it comes to your animal health care. Make sure that you have those items. Just like we had that emergency rise up with Foxy yesterday, we were able to get medication for him, but I didn't really have anything of that was meant just for animals on hand for him for his inflammation. I do now, but make sure that you cover all of your bases, and you have the things that you might possibly need taken care of if you've got baby chickens coming in and turkeys, whatever kind of poultry you have coming in, that you have the items that could help you to keep your animals healthy. Some apple cider vinegar to put in the water, and that could benefit all of your animals, not just your chickens. Make sure that you have gauze and bandages and the different things, not just for your humans, but for your animals as well. Now, at the end of spring cleaning, if you're anything like us, you have a bunch of stuff that you want to pass on to other people because you don't need it anymore, but it's still a good item, or it's things that you really don't think that you have any use for. You know for sure that you don't want to pass it on to someone else because they would just consider it trash. Well, some of those things you can hold on to, and you can add to your supply, your storage. And I know this is spring cleaning and getting rid of things, but there are some things, if you have a tub or two, that you might want to keep those things. Some of the examples would be towels, kitchen towels, bath towels. You know, sometimes we get rid of those because that selvage edge comes loose, and so it's stringy, and we don't want to keep that. And every time we wash it, put it in the dryer, that stuff gets all over our clothes, and they frustrate us, and we want fresh, clean towels. And usually this time of year they start having white cells, and so you can get new towels and sheets and that kind of stuff. But make sure that you're holding on to your towels, even if they have a hole in them. You'll be surprised, one, they can clean up any kind of mess that you have that you don't want to use your good brand new bath towels for. But sometimes you will find, especially if you live and have animals, if you live out in the country or even in town, if you have a dog or a cat that's going to have kittens or something, you can use those towels in an emergency if something's going on with your animal mama. You can use that towel to get in there and get those babies dried off really quickly. It's important that you keep their body temperature up. So keep your towels, keep your washcloths. You don't have to keep them in your linen closet. Just get you a tub and fill that tub up with those towels and washcloths. Just be really creative and think about the things that you're getting rid of. Now, I know that we can't keep everything. I absolutely know that. And my son will be the first one to say, "Throw it away, Mom, throw it away." But there are some things in our spring cleaning that will be beneficial to keep on our farms. I hope I gave you a few things to think about today, guys. You're in the process of spring cleaning. Bless your hearts. I know some of you are still I know that some of you are still covered over in snow and you're not even thinking about spring cleaning yet. But I promise you, it's well on its way. It'll be here before you know it. And so as you're preparing, as you're getting ready for your spring cleaning, just think about the things that you want to get rid of, and is there any other use for them. Now, the jeans and things like that, I've always kept some of those to use for patches, the jean legs and things like that, or quilt patches. And I don't know. I think that maybe some people are starting to get back into that, finding a second way to use something. And I think it's exciting. Find more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little bit of sunshine here with us on Cedar Creek. It's definitely not a warm day, but oh, the sun feels so good. Till next time, guys, this is Josie. I love you guys. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. Good luck with your spring cleaning. And hey, if you got any ideas for some of that stuff that all of us are too quick to throw away, well, just share with us down there in the comment section. All of us can use a few good ideas on how to stretch things just a little bit further and get another use out of them. Okay, guys, till next time, we're gone.